maybe there's some reason that I don't see, but it sure seems kind of funny, to have this huge brain, and then we act like a bunch of monkeys, to put it the way the academics want us to think about ourselves, watching our TVs. Yeah. A lot of suspicious things going on that when you talk about these incredibly miraculous people, this is what we all are really like, I would say, like you were bringing out.
Yeah. Hey, let's shift over to chakras, because you're very familiar with that. I'm not so much, so take it away.
Okay, yeah, it looks like we got an instant message from someone on that. And, yeah, the chakra system an Eastern philosophy course is that's what I used to teach in the universities, and it's one of my big backgrounds. I've been a Buddhist. I believe in Yahweh and so forth, but I've been really a strict Buddhist since the early 90s. And the chakra system then comes right in there. And so it's basically they're usually described as these energy points or foci. One's in your groin area, one's around your stomach, and one's at your heart and your head and so forth. And I have just come out and started to believe that these are physiological in their origin. And the reason is because I forgot the name of it right now. Man, I wish I remembered it. See, there you go. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's in my consciousness, but I can't remember. So there's another interesting case of that. But right above your stomach is this huge center of neurons. It's almost like a small brain, right there. It has all kinds of things to do with memory and feeling and so forth. And it's right where the chakra was described as being in ancient Eastern religion. And then how about the heart? Remember we were talking about having dopamine in it.
Yes.
Okay, now that's funny, because now the heart is some kind of a brain as well, as we were discussing earlier. You see a pattern growing here, and then the brain, the head brain, that's a brain. So where the chakras are described as being, you can keep going on with the groin chakra and so forth, but where the chakras are described as being are these ultra complex brain-like centers. These focuses, these foci of our nervous system, because really the brain extends through the whole body, of course, but it's just these collection areas that we call, brain or something, but really, neurons are all over out to our fingertips. And so I just have taken it that it's pretty interesting. The ancient religions just always call it, I think, as far as archaeology, or now you have a good example of physiology here. Why? The academics won't talk about this, about how there's a physiological basis to the chakras, but then all you need to do is just study what we're really like, and there it is. So they knew that way back then, and we called ourselves brilliant and them the dumb primitives. And no, they had it. We're completely backwards, and there's something really big behind this whole chakra system.
Yeah, I think you're right, and maybe we've just been de-evolving. Maybe in the past we had all these abilities, and now we've lost them. Going to take a break. I hope you hang on through the entire show, folks. We've got about 40 minutes left, and we're going to talk about the possible answer to all of this. I wanted to go from chakras to this incredible, the most incredible human that I think lives. His name is Daniel Tammet. And there's a series of documentaries now. They started to see that his unusual abilities when he was young. But folks, there's savants that are incredibly gifted with music or memory. They even had Daniel Tammet go and meet the real Rain Man, which was a fascinating documentary because that real Rain Man has been able to retain 100% of everything he's ever read, and he reads constantly his entire life. And now I would guess that he's about 50, 55, something like that. And the interesting thing that I got out of that is that when he reads a book, he reads the left page with his left eye, the right page with his right eye, and he devours those two pages typically in 8 seconds. They do, and you can see his eyes. They do not shift back and forth or anything. They are looking like, it looks like right down the middle of the page. And how in the world is that possible? But that's not the most incredible human yet. It's Daniel Tammet. I've got several links to him over at my blog, bigjohnlipscomb.blogspot.com. Do yourself a favor and see what we're capable of. Because Daniel, there's a few documentaries where, Jeffrey, they take this young man, he's 22 maybe, and they take him to different nations. And the one that I watched is they took him to learn the Nordic language. I guess, what is that, Iceland? They speak Nordic or something like that. And so anyway, they drop him off there for 1 week, and he has never seen the language, heard it, read it, nothing. And he works with one language expert, linguist, and they just kind of mill around cafes and stuff, and he interacts with people. 1 week later, he's interviewed on this documentary by 2 language experts, and he was able to learn the entire Nordic language and converse with them for an hour. And folks, they say that this language is the most difficult on the planet, and he picked it up all completely within a week. And that's only the beginning of the fascinating aspects of Daniel Tammet, and I'd like to tell more. But what do you think about that, Jeffrey?
Wow. Well, the first thing I started thinking about is that seems to be strongly related to that, the guy who bumped his head and all of a sudden was speaking Italian. Where these, and then also this is related to reverse speech, but I'll get to that in a second, because it seems like here's 2 cases where maybe they're learning it in different ways, but this incredible ability to learn language. I mean, we're told, oh, it's so hard, and like I was saying earlier, getting your PhD in a university, you have to pass language requirements, and people just bury themselves in books for a year just to scrape by as a total ignoramus, level, learning this language, some language in question. So it's pretty interesting that you've got cases here. We must just have a block on ourselves.
Yeah.
And this must be a real innate ability that we have. And it also seems to be related to reverse speech, which I just regard as an empirical science. You can prove that it is. I mean, just because they don't talk about it on Fox News doesn't mean it's not an all-out hardcore empirical entity, a thing that you can study, where, you can run someone's language in reverse and find out all kinds of sentences and so forth. And politics, it's well known that Obama used this "yes we can" backwards, thank you Satan, as is well known. And so there's another. We've got all these. In other words, what I'm saying is we've got all these shocking, advanced language abilities in us that are coming out through these issues. Daniel Tammet, the Italian guy, the guy that started speaking Italian in reverse speech. The real question is, why don't we see this? How did we get so dumb? How did this de-evolution happen, like you were saying? Because there's a real block that we have somehow. It's not that, it's not like that anymore. It's that we're blocked. Go ahead.
Right. That de-evolution obviously started before the media, the television, all the propaganda. So it's been descending for a very long time. And like you're projecting the idea that it's, we're missing the key to open this up. But these people, either through the gift or accident, are busting this door wide open. That's the exciting part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe it's the case that not that they're busting a door open only, but just that a door is like a curtain is being pulled back or something. That's what I always thought. A lot of religious experiences that I've had, Buddhist experiences and so forth. It's all of a sudden it's just like a curtain falls, and like what you knew was there all along, all of a sudden you're just living through. Interesting religious experiences will do that. You say, wait, I knew this all along. I could feel this deep